Formula One leaves Japan with a new world champion and heads stateside. It's the United States Grand Prix in Austin, Texas, Circuit of the Americas. So just 4 races remain, the United States and Mexico forming a back-to-back before we break up again with Sao Paulo and Abu Dhabi. Red Bull have completely dominated the second half of the standings as well, winning all races since the summer break. Will they have much luck in the last 4 races as they go for the Constructors' Championship? In the Drivers' Championship, Max Verstappen has already been crowned the world champion with the victory quite very much again controversy in the Japanese Grand Prix, meaning that he goes up by just 1 point. He claimed it last time out. The battle is on though for second place between Sergio Perez and Charles Leclerc, just 1 point between them. George Russell and Carlos Sainz also in a personal battle. Hamilton pretty much adrift on his own, with Lando Norris also safe in 7th. The battle for 8th though between Ocon, Alonso, Bottas is heating up, and Vettel now overtakes Ricciardo in 11th. On the second half of the table, it's Danny Ricciardo in 12th. Gasly is in 13th as well, just slightly behind. He's in a battle with Magnussen too. And then Stroll, Schumacher and Tsunoda in a battle over 15th. Zhou Guanyu also just about holding on to 18th. And then Albon and Latifi also once again doing battle as teammates now, with Latifi scoring points for the first time this season. Nick de Vries goes down to 21st, and Nico Hulkenberg, as only reserve driver this year, still on no points. Red Bull then stand the first chance to win a Constructors' Championship for the first time since 2013. But with the cost cap drama looming, who knows what that could change in the future. Ferrari are in a battle now once again with Mercedes. Alpine and McLaren swapping places for the 5th race running. Alfa Romeo and Aston Martin now joined by Haas and AlphaTauri in their battle. Haas and AlphaTauri level on points. Williams on 8 points, still largely adrift. Let's take a look around the Circuit of the Americas here in Austin, Texas. 3.425 miles, 20 corners, 2 DRS zones, and the longest run straight on the Formula One calendar. It is a joy of a circuit. Exit the last corner then and boot it hard as you come under acceleration and under power as well. Continue on downhill towards turn number 1. 8th gear flat out before a heavy braking zone as well. Drop down 3rd gear, tight inside line apex on the left hand side. Drop downhill now into the Mickey Mouse section of the track as well. The car meanders left then right again like Maggotts and Beckett at Silverstone. Requires a little bit of lifts as well to make sure everything stays the same on the circuit, and continues to push hard as they continue uphill into turn 7 and 8 as well. Keep hard on the power, and now through the tricky bump zone of the track at turn 10. MotoGP riders complain about it, Formula 1 do too, before you into the hairpin then. Like turn 1, all the way down at turn 11, 2nd gear. Rise up the hill now once again, down the longest straight in Formula 1. DRS is at a maximum. The ERS is screaming its deployment energy as you hurtle down into the best overtaking spot on the track in towards turn 12. Brake at the 100-meter board, flick the car into the left, and then you're back on the power. 2 rights then as well do make a correct right turn into 15 and 16. Then 3 lefts back to back. You don't notice the first 2. It's the last one you need to notice coming into turn 16. 17 and 18 then, a long sweeping right-hander akin to what we see in Turkey of Formula 1 as well. 19 and 22 left-handers then, easy to flick the car off the track and run out lap time like you do there. That's allowed this year by the stewards, but no cutting elsewhere. Last corner, full throttle once again with the DRS open, and that is a lap of Austin, Texas. Hello everybody, welcome to qualifying for the 2022 United States Grand Prix, and we have to begin with some terrible news that was breaking in the past hour as well. The Red Bull owner and founder of the team, Dietrich Mateschitz, has tragically passed away as well. He's been battling a long illness as well. but the news breaking just before the start of qualifying. 78 years old as well. He was behind Red Bull coming into Formula One back in the 1990s. First off as a Sauber entry as a sponsorship deal as well on the side of their cars back in 1997. Then came in, of course, to take over the Jaguar team at the end of 2004, at the start of 2005 as well. And sadly, he has passed away. Before we introduce the guys, let's go down to the pit lane for Ted Kravitz's update.
Similar feeling as the pre-qualifying show gets going on the grid. I'd say about 60,000 people on the hill overlooking Turn 1, expecting to see some fireworks in qualifying later. And the wind is as strong as it was in free practice 3 earlier on today, Texan time. And what that's doing is blowing quite a lot of dust and sand and grass onto the track. That's actually going to mean that the track will improve quite considerably throughout the qualifying hour. So watch out for that. Mercedes will make sure they don't get caught out by that. They were only 5th and 7th for Lewis Hamilton and George Russell, respectively, in free practice 3, but they hope for better than that. At Ferrari, it's high hopes, bearing in mind that Charles Leclerc does have that grid drop, 10 places on the grid for a new turbocharger and a new engine. So for wherever Charles Leclerc qualifies, he will drop down 10 places on the grid. But next door, it's Carlos Sainz then, who carries the hopes of the prancing horse today in this afternoon session. We'll see how it goes for them. But can they really challenge Red Bull Racing? And you know, just next door at Red Bull Racing, bearing in mind what we've been hearing, the sad news out of Austria, the championship might be over, Drivers' Championship for Max Verstappen. But today, Red Bull and Max Verstappen have something to be perfect for in the form of a tribute to their co-owner, the co-owner of Red Bull, of course, the owner of Red Bull Racing, Dietrich Mateschitz. And there's no doubt, Simon, that they will be racing for Dietrich this weekend.
And Dietrich Mateschitz, of course, passing away, just 78 years old as well. Let's bring in the commentators as well that will join me in the session as well. We've got Adam Lemridge, Josh Place and Tom Dillon joining us for qualifying today as well. I'll tell you what, you may lose a Megan, so it takes 3 people to replace her up in the comms box. But Adam, we'll start with you. Terrible news coming out at the moment as well. A long-time friend of Formula One was Dietrich Mateschitz as well. Always been around the paddock, and it's just... We knew he's been ill, but this is just absolutely shocking news. And they've got to go now and try and win a Constructors' Championship this weekend. And if they do it, the perfect honour for the great man.
Josh, our thoughts and prayers are with everyone at Red Bull after this tragedy. And if Max Verstappen win tomorrow in Red Bull, win the Constructor Championship tomorrow, it would be a perfect tribute to a man who did a lot.
Tom, we've seen as well throughout the years that Dietrich was in Formula One. Red Bull claimed a total of, let's get this right, 86 career wins, 79 pole positions, 84 fastest laps and 229 podiums, 6 Drivers' Championships, 4 Constructors' Championships as well. In the Red Bull team, adding the AlphaTauri team, which was Toro Rosso, adds a further 2 Grand Prix wins, 1 pole, 2 fastest laps, and 2 career podiums as well for them. It's been a lifelong passion as Red Bull with the thing of speed, but it's not just Red Bull racing for Formula One, it's Red Bull Air Race, Red Bull TV, everything that Red Bull throw themselves into with sports, that they've lost sort of the key figure.
Well, it's not just Formula One. It's he's been a key figure in. He's been a great patron of V8 supercars, WRC, every form of motorsport and extreme sports as a whole, and obviously all being his brainchild, the Red Bull energy drink as well. In fact, the entire business model that he's pioneered of this extreme kind of advertising is something that I think has really revolutionized the industry as a whole. And has really created an interesting dynamic for a sports team. He's been a huge influence, and very sad news to see that he has passed away.
Okay, we'll get Josh's thoughts in just a second then. It's time to switch over. Get ready for F1 at qualifying. Time to kick off then once again. Time for qualifying at the Circuit of the Americas in Austin, Texas. It's full out as well in the Lone Star State. You can see the city in the background as well. We're about a half an hour away from that main capital. And now as well, in the middle of the Texan desert, 400,000 spectators have packed into the Circuit of the Americas to see who will start on pole position. This fantastic track, 3.42 kilometers as well. Let's just see who's going to have the best pole time, because in previous years it's been Max Verstappen, it's also been Valtteri Bottas, it's been Lewis Hamilton, it's been several different drivers have all had to earn it as well. Overtaking here is quite easy as well. Quite often, turn number 1 can make or break your race, so qualifying positions are key. C2, C3, C4 tyre compounds as well for hard, medium and soft. We won't need the intermediate or wet tyres either as well, unlike in Japan, because the sun is just beginning to set. The American flag is glistening as well, and alongside me in the commentary box is Adam Limridge, Josh Plays and Tom Dillon as well joining me in this session. And Adam, we're in the Lone Star State, your home country as well. Our second visit to America this year. Ahead of 5 visits to the Americas continent this season, 6 next year. It's good to have America back in Formula One with a permanent presence.
Josh, and like I mentioned for Free Proctors 3, absolutely beautiful. And when the fans come out to a U.S. Grand Prix in Austin, Texas, they come out and it's full force. And a lot of spectators there this weekend to see the stars of F1, Max Verstappen, Sergio Perez, Lewis Hamilton, Daniel Ricciardo, among others, and it's absolutely just a beautiful track to host the U.S. Grand Prix.
And Josh, get your thoughts on the news that Dietrich Mateschitz has passed away. Of course, the Red Bull owner as well, and responsible for so many sports around the world as well. What's your immediate reaction to the news as well? It's a difficult time for everyone who's been connected with Red Bull, and that's a lot of millions and millions of people around the world.
Yeah, it really is, and it's shocking. We knew that he was unwell for a very long time. But it's like, I'll take Queen Elizabeth for II for an example. We knew she was getting old. We knew that she was going to go at one time, but we were all expecting it in the next coming years. But when it happened, it just shocked everyone, and that's the case here. And Josh, you also didn't see some pre-show commentator fun in the voice chat. You saw nothing.
I haven't seen that because I had to change the pre-show for qualifying as well, because what I'd said in the beginning when the qualifying ident came up, you can't now do because of Dietrich Mateschitz passing. So it was because Red Bull going for their victory is their main focus. I thought, well, I can't say that. And I had to resave the pre-show. Tom, speaking of which, we just saw the world champion, of course, Max Verstappen. He's all done and dusted then, but the Constructors' Championship is the key aim today. But Perez has a grid penalty, so it's all down to Verstappen.
Yes, but the Ferrari, if I'm not mistaken, is one of them already carrying a grid penalty anyway, Charles Leclerc, so it sort of equals itself out. I mean, they've basically got it done, haven't they, Red Bull? It's just a question of when they're going to wrap it up, whether that's going to be today or whether it's going to be next week or thereafter. They've got well over about a 170-point lead in the championship at the moment. 14 wins compared to 4 with Ferrari. And, well, I think really they probably will wrap it up this weekend, to be honest.
Green light, and away we go then at the end of the pit lane, and the first part of qualifying for the United States Grand Prix is go, and you can hear the cheers around the grandstand as Lewis Hamilton is shown on the screen. 18 minutes then, all 20 cars will head on to the circuit as well in order to set their fastest lap time. At the end of this session, we will lose the slowest 5, and straight out there on the track, Alexander Albon and Mick Schumacher, Zhou Guanyu and Nicholas Latifi as well, and the thunderous applause of 400,000 spectators means a lot. And I'll tell you what, Adam, I think this is more packed out than an IndyCar or NASCAR race. So many more people in here as well. Formula One really has got America. We said it last year. We discussed it in practice 3 last year. But this year, it's just getting better and better. They can't put up the grandstands fast enough, was a quote I read about this circuit.
Absolutely, Josh. And there are a lot of passionate F1 fans here in the United States. I give you an example. Where I work, I talk to a good friend of mine named Chris, and every time he comes in, one thing we talk about is Formula One. He watches with his son every single race. So he, this week I saw full sweatshirt. I asked him if he can watch the race in Austin, Texas. He said yes. So there are a lot of very passionate F1 fans here in the USA.
What I wouldn't give to be trackside round about now as well. Beautiful blue skies as well. Let's give you some stats then coming in about pole position here. If I can get it open on my desk here. 5 different drivers have started from pole position here at COTA. That's Lewis Hamilton. He's got the most poles of anybody at this circuit as well. He's got 3. Sebastian Vettel and Nico Rosberg have each got 2 as well. And ergo, 4 German drivers as well, pole positions. They've got the most successful here. Last pole position as well. 1 pole position went the way of Valtteri Bottas back in 2019. He won from pole position here. And as we go up to turn 1, Zhou Guanyu sets a lap time as well. Tom, we're expecting to see quite a good session here for qualifying, but all the emphasis is going to be on qualifying 2 when they have to go out in conditions that we saw pretty much in FP2 yesterday, where the track begins to get a little bit cooler. The track temperature drops dramatically from the start to the finish, because at the start of what would have been Q2 yesterday in the second session of practice, the track temperature dropped in 15 minutes by about 5 degrees. That's a big margin, because the track getting cooler means the soft tyres work faster. So what do you think is going to happen in the second session? We're going to see people using more softs or more medium compounds?
To be honest with you, I think softs is the only tyre you want to be running in qualifying, with those rules being taken away for the new regulations, that you have to start on your Q2 tyre. I think it makes Q2 a little bit arbitrary at the moment, but that's beside the point as we stand. As Guan Yu Zhou, by the way, is purple in the first sector, first man to set a lap, I believe. But yes, I think really the track temperature is something that I like to not ignore, but sort of downplay the importance of it. I think throughout the course of a session, it doesn't create that big of a difference in lap times. I think it's going to be pretty simple in that it's going to be a case of making use of those final runs, and if the drop-off is as significant as we're expecting, all it means is that rather than using a single set of tyres, they may have to wait it out till the end, the teams like Red Bull and your Mercedes, to try and get themselves onto the board very late indeed.
It's going to be a very interesting session then across the board. Thanks to Josh as well. First lap times coming aboard. Schumacher, Zhou, Albon, Magnussen as well, all on softs, as Tom was saying as well. But there's a lot of action out there, because there's people on out laps and people on fast laps, and they're all getting in the way of each other in the middle sector. I don't know if you've seen the driver tracker, but it's quite messy out there.
Yes, it always is, and well, when I say it always is, it is, and most of the time in COTA it is quite messy going into Q3, Q2 and Q1, trying to get the space for the laps. It's the third highest amount of corners in a lap. I believe it's tied with another circuit on 20 corners.
Yeah, I'm trying to think off the top of my head. Singapore's got 20,
Yep.
through 20 now, 23. Saudi Arabia's got 27. So this is 20, and there's the 2 Red Bulls go out side by side there as well. Which other track's got it? Adam, I don't know about your motorsport brain. Do you know which other track could have 20? I can't remember.
It's called. I know Singapore's, Saudi Arabia, certainly America's in Austin, Texas, and
Trying to work. Silverstone's
that's
got
the 3
18.
main ones that I can think of.
Yeah, Silverstone's got
Going to
18.
get the
Yeah, you have to figure it out. I can't work it out on the top of my head as well.
output I used.
Schumacher's time, by the way, is a 1:37.816. He's 71 thousandths quicker than Zhou. And I'm receiving text messages from a friend of mine who's watching the session of qualifying as well as they come back up. I've just received a text message from her. She's watching Zhou Guan Yu. So that was 15:39, well, 12 minutes in. So I've been bad. I haven't actually replied to that text. I'll get to it in a second. But Tom, we're seeing the first lap times then. Verstappen on softs. Perez just behind him. So Verstappen giving the turn to Perez. But is Max got the pace to be the fastest driver here today? He was top in practice 3, but it's been a bit off all weekend.
Well, evidence is in pace sector 1 he's purple, so we're going to have to wait and see what Max Verstappen can do as he heads through on this lap. Charles Leclerc is also a little bit behind Verstappen on a lap as well. He's heading through the S's right now. Verstappen now heading down into that sector 2. Charles Leclerc faster, 0.6 of a second up on Mick Schumacher, who currently tops the timing sheets. I think Max Verstappen, as he heads up to the sector 2 timing line, is going to get the pole position here. However, that's a long way into the future. The question is, can he get the lap on the board that would see him into Q2, which you suggest,
Well,
given he's
yeah.
the world champion, maybe quite an academic thing for him to achieve.
1.199 up at the moment. What do you got for us, Josh?
Baku. 20 corners.
Baku with 20. There we go. And you,
Well,
well done.
the other track I was thinking of, Azerbaijan, yeah. There
See?
you go.
This
Yep,
four-person team works.
I am going to pin
Oh,
that
hang
in
on.
commentators chat.
We've got
Ooh.
Alonso and Ocon blocking Verstappen coming out of the last corner. There's a lot of traffic there, but
That's
Verstappen's
dodgy.
still going to go fastest. 1:35.864 for Verstappen. Perez is just behind him. He too had traffic, and look how much time he lost. 2 tenths. He was up in the first 2 sectors, but he still set the fastest third. Well, he's 2 tenths down, but it's a... Oh, look at Charles Leclerc. Sorry to come across myself. There, fast sector 1, personal best sector 2, fastest of all sector 3. Leclerc does a 1:35.795 and goes fastest. And Norris jumps up to 4th, so the track getting incredibly busy out there. Everyone bar Latifi is out on the track right now, and they're all, as you can see on the driver tracker, pretty much in the same area together. So it's still getting that amount of chaotic out there. Stroll 4th. Go on, Josh.
I have sent in commentators chat. It's very interesting. US Grand Prix safety car heat map.
Oh, well, I'll have a look
There
at that
has
tomorrow.
been no red flags at COTA.
Yeah,
There
where have I
has
got that
been
stat?
no safety car or virtual safety car on the last lap. And only in 2013 and 2014 has there been a safety car or virtual safety car on the first lap.
You must be looking at the same stats I've got, because that's what I've got here as well. But Tom, great lap time then from Leclerc. Verstappen now 69 tenths down. I'm not going to make a joke like I did in the earlier on in his session, but still, everyone knows it's there. But if you look at the gaps between the top 5, they're incredibly close as well. The top 5 separated by exactly 4 tenths.
Yeah, you have to be careful, otherwise I'll get the scissors to clip it out.
Bottas goes 6th as well. Alonso just comes across the line to go into 6th position, and Ocon's behind him too. And I'll throw it to you, Tom, to answer that question.
Well, I'm still trying to find the words for that disgraceful immaturity
Sorry.
charge. Anyway, nice is all I can say, with
Oh.
Leclerc doing very well at the moment.
Nice.
And stop chuckling, you children, as Mick Schumacher has just been bumped down into the relegation zone.
What's the-
Whatever
oh,
you call it,
Verstappen
knockout
radio?
zone. Oh, Verstappen was
The
blocked by Schumacher, wasn't he?
racing line in the 17, man.
Schumacher
Really
or
dangerous.
Magnussen.
Yeah, you're right. I think it. We can see which Haas it is. It's one of them at the moment. Who was behind? So, looking at the driver tracker, who is in front? It is Schumacher. You're right. So yeah, Schumacher, or is it? Well, actually, Magnussen's in between them. So I'm going to say it's Magnussen. You were right first time, Tom. Magnussen getting a block there as well. Sainz is looking quick. Now, Sainz has no penalties in this race. He can start wherever he likes. He's my tip for pole position. Adam, you went Verstappen, but you got to admit, 1.2
Yeah.
seconds up. It's looking good for Carlos here.
Yeah, gosh, it sure is. Purple sector 1, green sector 2, and he's just come around the last corner now to complete his lap, and he is on top of his teammate Charles Leclerc. Wow, Ferrari's looking strong here in Q1.
That
But
is.
it's still a long way to go.
That's a 1:35.297. He is 0.4 of a second faster than Leclerc. Let's just get that right. 0.4. That's an amazing that. Now, call me a cynic here, but everyone else did have a bit of traffic. Sainz was traffic free. So the fastest lap time we've seen this weekend, though, was a 1:36.810. So we've already below that by quite a margin. So soft tyres, way to go. And Sainz is the driver to do it as well. I don't know. I'm going to ask you a different question now, you three. I'll start with Tom. Who's going to be the big shock to be eliminated in this session? As Latifi probably will get eliminated, crosses the line, and, okay, goes 16th, the 1:37.244, and is only a fraction off of Ocon's time. So Latifi surprised even me there. Go on, Tom.
Well, Ricardo's going to need another lap, as is Ocon probably to be safe. Vettel as well. Schumacher may just sneak out of this session, but I genuinely think that here Ocon and Vettel are in a little bit of bother. They need that extra lap. But then you've got to ask the question, we can assume that Daniel Ricciardo is going to jump up into the top 15, maybe Tsunoda as well, or most probably Tsunoda as well. Then the question lies with Magnussen, Latifi and Albon, whether any of those could spring a surprise on us. But if they can, then all of a sudden, even as far as Norris in 12th start to have a little bit of a problem. The point is that no one is safe as it stands. It's only 2 hundredths of a second, by the way, between Ocon in 15th and Tsunoda in 17th. So that is how much of a bubble we are on right now.
And there's something gone wrong. I think Zhou's had a lap time deleted. He has. Zhou's had a lap time deleted for exceeding track limits and has dropped down to 20th. So as things stand, Nicholas Latifi goes into 15th position. Josh, you've got the data screen open at the moment. You can see it. Yes, track turn, I think it's turn 12. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, turn 12.
Track limits. Turn 12 for go 1G.
So, has anyone else been caught out, Josh, that we haven't seen on the timing screen? Because that was quite a big drop for Zhou. Has anybody else been caught out?
Yeah, that was a massive drop. Nobody else. There's a confirmation of the race control message just come on to my screen. But 5 minutes into the session, as there is 5 minutes to go, in Q1, let's have a look. This is Alexander Albon on board going into turn 1.
Maybe
You see
push it.
Lewis there? Yeah, Lewis turn 2.
Yeah, copy. I saw Hamilton turn 2.
And Lewis was
Yeah,
just
so-
too much in the centre of the track. Albon trying to go on the outside, Josh. I mean, that's just bad from Hamilton, isn't it?
Yeah, that was bad timing at a bad time. But yeah, 5 minutes into the session, apparently track surface was slippery in sectors 6 and 7, which is turn 6 and 7. That was just for a matter of seconds. There, and there is Magnussen.
Doesn't it look like Romain
And it-
Grosjean, though?
It does, yes.
the
I
eyes.
literally had to check the steering wheel sticker. But
yeah.
Magnussen's got his visor down. It looks like the tie wrap's coming off Magnussen. Looks like he will be coming back out again as he is in 19th. And that is the McLaren of Daniel Ricciardo coming out, who is in 18th. 3 minutes and 40 seconds remaining of Q.
Saddle up then. Here we go again. Who's going to get out of
I
Q1?
see what you did there.
Thank you. And immediately, look at that. Ricardo and Stroll pulling out of the way down turn 1. They don't want to give a toe to anybody. So lots of cars heading out on the track. A friend of mine will be very happy that Lando Norris just left the pit lane once again in 11th position. Top 8, though, Adam, remaining in the pit lane. Do you see any of them coming out? Or is...
No, I don't. And you guys saw how Daniel Ricciardo earlier go on a horse.
Yes.
He's getting in to the whole Texas vibe down there. I thought that was pretty cool.
Danny Ricciardo in the paddock on Thursday, on the horse. And I did make the joke to Josh as well, Tom. You might like this one because you know you love our pop culture references. He went through the desert on a horse with no name. and it felt good to be out the rain. Oh, come on.
I'm drawing.
I know. I know.
Thanks, Adam. Tom, you don't know it, do you? Oh,
Maybe I'm just uncultured.
There is this very good button, and it says disconnect.
yes. We need that on a T-shirt. I've been through
I
a desert on
wanted
the horse
to,
of no name. It felt good to be out in the
Oh.
rain. Go on, Tom.
Wanted to draw attention to our solitary chatter at the moment. I don't know how to pronounce that name, I'm afraid. Thea.
Athea, I would say. Hello.
Hello. Hello in Greek, apparently. According to Google Translate, anyway. So, I don't know. I think maybe slightly lost in terms of the language barrier there, but welcome along to the stream. It's a minute and 48 seconds to go in this session now, and Sonoda is going to the first to complete his lap. Now, my question to the floor here is Sonoda has got a 137.2 to beat from Nicholas Latifi, who's sitting right on the bubble. Is the track evolution dramatic enough where Sonoda going out first in this session, completing his lap first, is that going to cost him towards the end of this? In fact, I can tell you that he's already a 10th down as Daniel Ricciardo starts his lap as well.
Yeah. So Sonoda's gone down as well, so I think you're right, Tom. Track evolution's not going to be that improvement. We're going to see a bigger drop-off in Q2. Ricciardo's coming through the first sector time, though, soon, as we're getting ready to sync up with 60 seconds left in the session. Latifi's the cut-off time to beat. 1 minute to go then in qualifying one here for the United States Grand Prix. In the drop zone at the moment, Yuki Tsunoda, who's on a lap time, as well as Alexander Albon, Daniel Ricciardo, Kevin Magnussen, and Zhou Guanyu. Latifi is 15th as well. He's on a 1:37.244. Zhou had a lap time deleted from him as well earlier on in the session for exceeding track limits at turn 12. The big question is, can Tsunoda get out of the drop zone in the next 35 seconds? Ricciardo set a good first sector time, Tom, and I don't know about Tsunoda, but he's looking quite good to the middle sectors.
He's improving on his lap. He's going to head through that turn 19 now, gets it absolutely nailed on, right up to the curb, not too much over, down into turn 20, third gear, bit of an early apex for Tsunoda, floors the throttle up to the line. Will it be faster? It will. 9th position for Yuki Tsunoda. He is safe.
And
Meanwhile,
yeah, go on, Josh.
Vettel went up to 8th, but Gasly takes 8th away from Vettel, so currently it's Gasly 8th, Vettel 9th, Tsunoda 10th, as the checkered flag comes out.
Here's the checkered flag. Ricciardo coming to the line then. He goes up into 13th position, so does get through. Ocon is in the drop zone. Both Williams in there too. Cross the line. Ocon goes 14th. That puts Lando Norris at risk as things stand. Here comes Magnussen towards the line to take the checkered flag. He goes through, so the track is improving out there after the first sectors. Norris is in big trouble. So is Esteban Ocon. Zhou Guanyu's coming through as well. And I can't see anybody else improving. Albon's improving as well. Adam, there goes Norris. He goes safe. So Ricciardo's at risk. Ocon's kicked out. Adam, do you think Zhou will go through?
Yes.
Bottas has gone 11th. Here comes Zhou towards the line, 20th at the moment, and does go through. Ricciardo is kicked out of qualifying. So it's Schumacher, Latifi, and Albon left. Albon goes 15th. Out goes Magnussen. What about Latifi? He's quick in the second sector, but we saw this in Hungary. He was fastest in sector 1, personal best sector 2, slow sector 3, and still was 20th on the grid. Are we about to see a repeat of what we saw in Hungary towards the line? Blasting it out at turn 20 of the Andretti. And he has done it. He hasn't done it again. It's exactly the same. Carbon copy of Hungary. Still personal best and still goes 20th. Hamilton goes 4th. Vettel stays 11th. So, yeah, Magnussen, Ricciardo, Ocon, Schumacher and Latifi are the first eliminations of qualifying here in America. And I think this is what happened to Schumacher up at turn 1.
Oh, it looks like he's gone deep. He's not locked up. He's locked up at the rears, actually. He's spun all the way around. That is disappointment for Mick Schumacher. That is not how you qualify into qualifying 2. He's locked up. It's a very deep corner there. The car bouncing around on him. And it just was too much. It's a rookie error, really. Let's be honest with it. And unless there's been a brake failure or anything there, should be doing better, Mick Schumacher, to be blunt about it.
So, in the first part of qualifying, the American team is eliminated with Magnussen 16th and Schumacher in 19th. Ricciardo is out as well in one of his favourite Grand Prix of the year. Esteban Ocon, you must say, is one of the surprises of the session, down in 18th position after a strong weekend so far. And Nicholas Latifi in 20th, as usual. Let's hear from Ricciardo.
Shock.
Bit
Okay,
harsh.
Daniel, so cars eliminated, we're 17.
Yeah.
Understood. It's real.
Well, show me where he isn't
I
usually
wrote
P20.
I rate Latifi.
He will
and I will-
P1 in Hungary.
I rate Latifi and I will die on that hill. He was one of my favourite drivers in Junior Formula. He will remain to be one of my favourite drivers. Nicholas Latifi deserved better. You watch in IndyCar next year when Nicholas Latifi comes back.
Oh,
Yes.
Okay, Tom. So you're saying Nicholas Latifi goes to IndyCar? Okay.
I thought that was confirmed, wasn't it?
Not
Chip
yet.
Ganassi? Not yet. Oh, it's being confirmed then. So he's going to IndyCar.
I was wondering if you had some breaking news for us there, Tom.
No. He will win the Indy 500 one day. He's going to be a Marcus Ericsson.
If Nicholas Latifi wins the Indy 500, I'll eat my hat. I'll say that.
If,
Yeah.
if he retires without an Indy 500,
Huh,
I will.
You heard that?
Eat
You
my
need to
hat.
clip that.
I am going to clip that. I will be right back.
I'm going to regret that one.
Yep.
aren't I?
Realistically, I'm going to be the one eating my hat here. But anyway,
Fondant fancy hat, I might add. I'm not going to go all the way and not do that. But anyway, we're just getting ready then.
Okay. Okay.
I'll go to Primark and get a hat. By the way, I'm not doing one of those expensive ones.
£2.50
That's like
Primark
20
hat,
quid.
yeah. Oh, that'll do me. So we're getting ready then for the start of the second part of qualifying. God, I need sleep as well. And if, by the way, MotoGP, the pre-show hasn't even been edited yet, but luckily it's all in blocks, so I can edit it quite quickly. So it shouldn't take that long. I'm just going to sort out whatever this whistling is from the house garage, because it's annoying me as well. Magnus on the radio, actually.
Laps. Who knows? Copy.
That was the whistling. Magnussen was on the radio. And the whistling in the background as well of the shot. So that's that sorted. Right. Q2.
Oh, I can tell you that is clipped.
Oh dear, I'm going to regret that. Okay, Q2 starts at 25 minutes past the hour to finish at 40 minutes past the hour. So in the next few minutes, we'll have the next part of qualifying coming up shortly as well. Predictions then for Q2. Who's going to be eliminated as a shock surprise?
Daniel Ricciardo.
He's already out.
He's already out.
I'll go as you.
It's good call. Good call. I agree there. He only just made it out. Go on, Tom.
Oh no, I'm going to stop my predictions because I'm only going to get myself into trouble.
Okay, Josh, go
Come on,
on.
Tom. Come on now.
Make a big, bold prediction. I'll tell you what, you've got time to
I've
think
just
about
said
it.
Nicholas Latifi's going to win the Indy 500. Is that not a big bold prediction?
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but
Yeah, that's true. That's true, Tom.
I'm sorry.
I'll give you that. I'll give you that.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but we've got dancing girls on the track. And I literally mean dancing girls. I'm not even joking. On the track, right now, at turn 11, there are dancing girls on the track. It's
I love Texas.
yeah, I mean, what? We're in the middle of a qualifying. How on earth has that been allowed? Can I just ask? That you've got, literally, it's a school band with what they call cheerleaders, and they're out there in the middle of the track. I mean, what? I'm confused. Let's have a quick word with Andreas Seidel.
Yeah, definitely. Big disappointment. I think it was not easy for Daniel to get the lap together. He was struggling with the rear. Which is a shame because he's shown some good pace so far this weekend. Yeah, not great. But now focus on Lando. And,
Well, Lando had the
trying to
pace
make
to.
sure.
He had the pace to be in the top 8. Do you think he's got the pace to carry that through to Q3 now?
Well, if you look at the lap times, it's very tight between a lot of cars, but I think if we get our lap in, there's definitely a chance to get through to quali3, and that's the aim.
Are you hearing anything from the drivers, Andreas, about the low sun in the final corner, for example, or bumps, or what are they saying generally out there?
Haven't heard yet about the sun being an issue yet, so let's see how that goes for the next two sessions. It's quite windy out there. I think that's the biggest issue in terms of getting the laps in without any mistakes. So I think that's the biggest challenge.
Andreas, thanks ever so much.
Just want to say, if you think dancing cheerleaders is bad, you should wait to see what happens when dancing cheerleaders and James Hunt are on the grid at the same time.
Yes. The 69 would become something very different then, wouldn't it? The green light is on, and the part of qualifying is underway here as well for Q2, but nobody is in a hurry to head out onto the track. As I said, this time yesterday, this is when the track temperature dropped dramatically as well. It dropped 5 degrees in this time, so they all are going to wait until the last minute. Nobody wants to be the first one out there on the track, as well as Josh gets back in as well. Luckily, Josh didn't hear that James Hunt joke and the 69 reference as well, so he can't clip it. He'll probably reverse it.
Now that you've told me that,
It's just reverse to the start of the session, and then you can get it back. Let's go down to Ted.
So he stopped
I'll be right back.
wishing some penalties on other people and has actually accepted that he is out in Q1. So he's doing the old walk of shame down the pit lane, down towards the FIA weigh scales and the interview pen. Got some info on Daniel Ricciardo. I mean, he hasn't had a particularly straightforward weekend as a whole. He's had trouble with some brake issues earlier today. He's lost track time and just complained about the rear of the car. I don't know if you heard that radio message earlier, Crofty. He's just saying the rear was just nowhere, no rear grip. But he did tell us, I've got some good news that for Daniel Ricciardo fans, he might not have a race drive for next year, but we do understand that he has closed out a reserve driver drive next year. So he will be, he told us on Thursday, he will be around
Mercedes.
about the Formula One paddock next year.
Any news as to what
Mercedes.
team that might be?
I thought you might ask me that.
Mercedes.
Well, it's a pretty obvious question
well,
even for me, Ted.
I mean, we thought Mercedes, because they now have a
Yes.
vacancy, given that Nick De Vries, their reserve driver, is going to AlphaTauri. But I'm told it's not Mercedes, so which only kind of leaves the
Red
Bull?
teams. Yeah, only
A return to Red Bull?
leaves Red Bull as the teams who have a reserve driver on hand at every race.
What
No.
we've been saying for a few weeks.
I doubt he'll go back to Red Bull. If he goes back to Red Bull, that is just admitting that you've made mistakes. It'll be Mercedes. Has to be. Can't think of
Well, it
anything.
takes a big man to admit that he's made mistakes, and I think Ricciardo is a big man. But no, I don't think Red Bull's the place for him. He wouldn't go alongside Max. I think it's not worth the risk reward. I think for Daniel Ricciardo, what he needs to do is find either call quits on the Formula One, go endurance racing, go V8 Supercars, or go IndyCar, something like that. Or he needs to
Yeah, it's called. What Daniel Ricciardo needs to do next year when NASCAR goes to Circuit of the Americas, go in that Project 91 car, and let him live out his stock car dream.
Bang it.
And,
Bang it, yeah. Great. go on.
One more point, actually, is Synthor says in chat, Ricciardo to Ferrari, right?
Oh,
I
yeah.
swear, that and Hulkenberg to Ferrari were two deals that actually almost came true.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
I could see it. I could see it. Even in a reserve role.
I think Ferrari would be a good slot for Daniel Ricciardo alongside Charles Leclerc. I mean, I know Carlos Sainz is doing really well, but Sainz has been a bit too bad this season. He's had a win and a couple of poles, but he's been too inconsistent. So many spins at the start of the year, too many ups and downs. Alexander Albon having a big twitch at the top of turn 8 as well. Still fastest of all in that first sector. Good save there, but again, we're seeing the tyres not gripping into the surface as good in this second session so far. But I reckon you're right. Ricciardo to Ferrari is actually a better one to go forward as well. Adam, what's Josh laughing at?
Oh, nothing.
Nothing.
Oh, I probably haven't missed that. Okay, I'll look at the chat then. Adam, V8 Supercars, or what about the Project 91? Is it at... it's Project 91, isn't it, at NASCAR, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Yeah, yes, it is, Josh. And I mean, when I had Daniel Ricciardo, I mean, what did he do last year? He ran yellow stock car, won the Italian Grand Prix, Zach Brown and that. So it's like, so Daniel Ricciardo's favorite driver is the late great Yellow Senior. So why not run Project 91 car, Team Trackhouse Racing, when NASCAR goes back to Circuit of the Americas next year?
I'd really hope, yeah. Perfect, isn't it? It's a perfect thing as...
I mean, why not? It's called, I mean, he could he can live out his stock car dreams. So, like I already said, I mean, I can see it. I mean,
What would he race as,
could
though?
you guys see it?
Yes, I could, definitely. What would he race as, though? 2 seconds, actually, because here's Gasly at turn 1. Double lock up and straight on at turn 1 for Gasly.
I tried my best, so yeah, I was maximum forward, shape 5, pushed all the braking. So, you know, I'm trying my best.
What did he say? Maximum what on the braking?
Maximum,
Never heard that word.
yeah. But he says he's trying his best. He's like trying to justify his action for the lockup.
Has he gone too far on the? Because it's unusual to see the brakes lock up like that. Because
Yeah, let me get this picture back in sync for you. Go on.
typically it's the one that's is. By the way, for those who are not having synced the pictures, he locks up both the tyres heading down into turn 1. It's an uphill section, so in theory the load on the brakes should be less.
Yeah.
I would think. It is quite warm around in America, though the temperature in Texas, I should say, though the temperature is slightly dropping. It's unusual to see someone lock up their brakes like that. So obviously there's been a setting that they haven't quite got right there at AlphaTauri. But to do a little bit of housekeeping whilst we're at it, I appreciate
Yeah.
you've been talking about Ricciardo and stock cars for a moment. Verstappen was purple in Sector 1. He's now actually had his purple sector curtailed by someone else.
Leclerc.
I can't quite see who that is. Leclerc. 8 minutes to go in the session. The first real bank laps from the top runners are in, and now this is where it gets rather interesting. George Russell, by the way, purple in Sector 2.
So Russell's really starting to push the boundaries now as well. Let's run through, as you said. Bottas top, Zhou second, Albon third, Tsunoda fourth, Stroll fifth. They're the 5 who set the times. Verstappen now does a 38.437 middle sector. Leclerc right behind him, sort of matching him. It's a 38.449. Here comes Russell to the line then in Q2. A little bit of a wiggle at the back there. Goes a 135.692. Mercedes will now be really hoping that it's a stop the clock situation as Norris goes into 4th, 137.050. That's a bad lap there from the McLaren to be 1.8 off. There we go. Verstappen goes fastest, 135.294. What about Leclerc, who is direct? Leclerc's backed off. What's happened to Leclerc? Here he is. He was right behind Max a few seconds ago, but he's still gone fastest. 135.246, and maybe they weren't as close as we thought. But great job there from Leclerc to go faster. Alonso goes 5th. Here comes Carlos Sainz at the moment. Jumps up to 3rd, 135.590. Perez 13th, but with that grid penalty comes across the line. Goes 5th, 135.864 as well. Good banker lap times there then, guys. And I'm just
Absolutely. Absolutely. And Charles Leclerc on top. I think Charles Leclerc wants to start front, even though he has a 10 grid penalty tomorrow. I'll ask the question: can Charles Leclerc get on the podium tomorrow here in Austin? I'll start with you, Tom. Can he do it?
I think he can, but he's got that penalty still, hasn't he? Has he?
No, I don't think he can. I mean, he's in a Ferrari. It's no, I don't think he can. Not with a 10 place good drop, unless he gets pole position and there's multiple safety cars. I think we're set for a Leclerc Verstappen. Oh, sorry,
Sainz Verstappen.
11 o'clock at night. As Sainz Verstappen Perez podium. Not
right.
in that order. Though Perez has also got a grid penalty, so maybe even Russell will get on there. I don't think Leclerc's going to get
Lewis Hamilton is currently just shaking his hands together, thinking if it somehow rains or something. I don't know. But I think I've had enough of wet races. I just want to dry. In fact, do you know what I want tomorrow is a dry, boring. Well, actually, no, I don't want to say that. I want a dry, exciting race with no safety cars that goes
You've
80
jinxed
minutes.
it now.
Yeah, I don't want to be sitting here.
He hasn't jinxed anything.
Well, to be fair, I have a habit, but I just want a nice, clean race that I can literally get out of the commentary box and finish my episode of Doctor Who, and then I can do the review show. Although I don't think I'm doing the Grid Network review show tomorrow because of how late it will be. I'm not entirely sure what the plans. I don't know what time NASCAR finishes, although I think it's.
It'll be late at night, Josh. So it's called on. No news. You'll be on the Encore show Monday night.
Yeah, see, I will be on the Encore show Monday with the Moto3, Moto2 reports. There's was that Pharrell Williams there, I believe.
NASCAR finishes around 10:30.
Oh, okay. So 90 minutes midnight. Okay, so I might just leave. Okay, I might be on then. I might leave directly from the wrap-up show of F1 and go directly to elsewhere of Grid Network show as well with their show, and then on the encore show on Monday, Grid Tonight on Wednesday, and then we've got the Women in Motorsports Thursday, and then Friday, no show on Friday, and Saturday, Sunday preview show again for Mexico and the penultimate race of NASCAR. I hope I've got that right.
You got that right, Josh.
What about Supercars, Adam? When are they next on? We've been saying it.
This weekend, Repco Supercar Championship is back in action at Silver's Paradise on the Gold Coast, or on the beach.
Silver's Paradise, yeah.
It's a shorter circuit of what IndyCar used to use when they ran there back in the day.
Let's have a listen.
This is Russell. So
Oh,
good show
hello.
there, Lewis.
Sorry. Hello to the helicopter for the TV cameras who have literally just stopped to give us a wave. That's a little bit of habit in the middle. I like the look of that. With 3 minutes to go. A friend of mine just said, I haven't really been paying attention to qualifying. I've been scrolling through TikTok. I've just got it on in the background. Oh, well, you're not missing that much. Because I don't think the Ferraris are going to go back out either.
Joshua Burt's 99.
Well, to be honest with you, whoever said that in chat, same here, and I'm supposed to be commentating on it.
Oh, no, that was my friend who's texted me
right, well-
privately.
Well, same here. Not really. I have been paying attention.
To be fair,
I've been
I've
looking-
forgotten what's happened already in Q1. I mean, it's been a bit of a... What's happening out here? Q2 has been a bit boring. Q1 was quite fun. Q2 has been like...
Oh, does that mean I can go on my Q2 rant?
Go
'Cause
on.
I've been waiting for this for a very long
You've
time.
got 1 minute, 12 seconds. Go.
Yes, well, meanwhile, a few people are out on the track. We've got Sonoda as well. But yes, Q2 was introduced essentially as a way to obviously whittle down the grid for the top 10 shootout, but also to set the tyres for the grid. However, that is completely pointless now because we do not have qualifying tyres carried through into the race. Therefore, Q2 literally only exists to make sure qualifying goes the hour. What we should have a half an hour session that splits the grid in half. We should have a second session that then is the top 10 shootout. Or if you want to forget qualifying being an hour at all, you can keep it at hour. It's a 25-minute session and a 10-minute session, however you want to run it. Just drop the nonsense and drop us basically sitting here bored for 20 minutes while we watch a
All right.
pointless Q2.
How about this? 30-minute
Just has
session.
no meaning.
How about this? 30-minute session to set the grid. Then the top 10 go out for the next half hour and do one lap showdown for quali. Of flying one lap shootout like we saw in the early 2000s. Because then you get the best of both.
No, I'd just keep it to Q2 having the same timing as he is. I think it's exciting enough, to be honest.
2 minutes to go then in the second part of qualifying here for the American Grand Prix in the drop zone at the moment. It's Alexander Albon, Yuki Tsunoda, Lance Stroll, Pierre Gasly and Sebastian Vettel as well. Gasly and Vettel haven't actually set a lap time competitively in this second session. That's a big word to say at 11 o'clock at night, 11:38 at night. As onto the start-finish straight then comes Pierre Gasly up towards turn 1. He's 14th at the moment. Gasly going to Alpine next year, though, Adam. Is it a good move to get out of the AlphaTauri Red Bull battle? I mean, we've already seen him on a lock-up in this second session, and then complaining that it wasn't his fault. He's trying his best. It seems like a toxic work environment.
I think next year Pierre Gasly is going to do really well. So I can't wait to see how he does.
Tom, do you reckon he'll be a race winner again?
If Alpine can get that car correct and the regulations end up being closing the gap, then yeah, I don't see why not.
And Josh as well, who do you think is going to be the biggest shock to get eliminated here? Because we've got a lot of unknowns in there. We've got the two Alfa Romeos going up. We've got Albon very close to the top 10. But it's just so confusing to see who's actually setting the best times. Albon goes 8th. How about that? 136.368. Albon's electric out there.
Incredible, Alex Albon. He's been so good in that Williams. Well, he's been decent in that Williams this year. Had a couple of standout performances, and maybe this is another one. I have to say, out of all the teams, I don't like the concept of supporting an F1 team, but Williams definitely my favourite. Definitely have a soft spot for.
I have a soft spot for McLaren. Don't know why. I just do. Don't know why.
Well, if you put a gun to my head and said, which F1 team do you support? I mean, Williams, really.
Yeah. Sonoda goes to 9th position. Checkered flag is out then, so Sonoda will go 9th. Gasly goes 10th. Both AlphaTauris through, kicked out both Alfa Romeos at the moment as well. Here comes Sebastian Vettel. He's 15th at the moment across the line, just over the rumble strips, and goes 9th. 136.398 then for Vettel. Stroll's 15th, just behind him, but it's a bit of a lackluster end to Q2 here. Stroll goes 7th, so that definitely kicks Gasly out. Vettel's at the cusp as well. Norris crosses the line, goes 9th, so that's Aston Martin out for Vettel in his last appearance at COTA, but Norris is nowhere safe because Bottas, Zhou and Tsunoda are all looking quite quick, especially Bottas and Zhou, so Norris might just get kicked out of qualifying, which means both McLaren start outside the top 10. Bottas goes 9th. Watch out now for Zhou. Alonso's 8th, so he might just put himself higher up the order. Albon is on a lap time as well, trying to look. Oh, he's backed off, so Albon's out of qualifying by 27 thousandths of a second. Alonso goes 7th, just behind Lewis Hamilton, but across the line, sideways almost comes Zhou Guanyu and does go 9th. Norris is out of qualifying, and I don't think anyone else is going to improve on the order. Yeah, Albon 150, he's out of in the pit lane. Albon is out, starts 12th on the grid. Norris out too, as well as Vettel, Gasly and Tsunoda. The two Mercedes may as well just back up here, Tom, and not do any more running.
Well, they won't. They'll go to the line anyway. Every extra little bit of running is running at least. Russell goes 6/10 slower than Charles Leclerc. Hamilton is going to cross the line. What's he going to do? With the yellow accents, he jumps up to 5th ahead of Perez, but it was really academic in the end, and nothing really major there. Norris, Albon, Vettel, Gasly and Tsunoda, the 5 knocked out of the pointless Q2 session, and well, the rest will advance. Lance Stroll is in the top 10 as well.
Oh, wow. Oh, and Zhou, just look at that. Zhou Guanyu's just had his lap time deleted. Zhou Guanyu for the second time. He is out, and Lando Norris does progress through to Q3. And my friend, who's a massive Lando Norris fan, has probably just punched the air.
Turn 12 again.
Oh, second time. So that is it. So Albon, Vettel, Gasly, Tsunoda, and Zhou out of the session. Well, that is a bit of drama, isn't it, guys? Let's have a look at Gasly. Is this a problem with him? Oh, this is double lockup, isn't it, turn 1? Or has he done it again? At the exit, what's he done? Same as Alonso in Q1? No? Okay.
Bottomed out. He's just bottomed out, hasn't he? Look at the porpoising heading down into turn 1. And then as he goes through the corner, mid-corner, on turning. We've seen this happen before. There's a slight lockup from the rears, just too much load going onto the tyres. I don't think that was a braking lockup, but Radio.
Why do we keep having this problem? Turn 111 is the same second weekend in a row.
Is that braking into hairpins, do you reckon, Tom? Because second weekend in a row, that's Japan.
Because that wasn't on braking. When he was locking up into the corner there, he shouldn't have been on the brake. So I'm not too sure whether that was a braking issue or whether it was something else. Sometimes if the tyres have a little bit too much load put into them, they can lock up without any brakes. I'm pretty sure it's not very often that can occur. But it can actually happen as the brakes sort of cool down as you come off of the the brake pedal. But really, it's an issue that's obviously in their setup, and I think as well that car was bottoming out. You can see it moving around through the mid corner there into turn 1, and that's not going to help your performance at all.
So, just to let you know, SHT, and to everybody listening as well, there is a new handle on this YouTube channel. It's at JB Motorsports. Is the new handle to get in touch with me. So at Joshua Birch Motorsport Journalist won't work anymore. At JB Motorsports is the way to get in touch with me on YouTube to have a look at here as well. And that's how you can find me on YouTube actually as well with the new YouTube handle system. SHT says, Alonso looking quick with that new internal combustion engine on his car. I think we're going to see him overtake a number of cars tomorrow in the race. Battles to focus on for the remaining 4 races. Perez versus Leclerc for 2nd in the Drivers' Championship, Alpine versus McLaren for 4th, and Alfa Romeo versus Aston Martin for 6th in the Constructors. Bang on there, they're the ones to watch out for. Stroll into Q3, his first Q3 appearance of the season. Yeah, Stroll's best qualifying here was 14th back in 2019, so already he betters that as well. But for Zhou Guanyu, his first qualifying at this event puts him down in 14th position as well at JB Motorsports. There you go, Tom, I saw that as well. So then, guys, we've seen the session. I'll go with Adam first. Who is going to take pole position?
I said it earlier. Max Verstappen in the Red Bull.
Just wanted to check in case you changed your mind. Josh?
No. Oh.
Gotta be the Red Bull.
Red Bull. Okay, that's 2 for Max. Tom, are you going to go 3 for Max?
Well, I don't back down, and yes, Max Verstappen. Probably the safer prediction that I've made today after Nicholas Latifi winning the Indy 500.
Yeah, many people still want to have a word with you for that one. Myself included, thinking to begin with, what on earth were you, and are you feeling okay to think that in the terms of the timings as well?
Well, I'm being slightly hyperbolic, but I stand by Latifi is a very good driver, and just not gelled for him in F1. But,
Indeed. He hasn't, has he, really? That's brutally honest as well. I think Anthony Davis is at the Sky Pad to analyse that lap from Zhou Guanyu.
Yeah, Crofty, yeah, we can look at it here. Here he is in towards turn 12. I'll just slow it down for you because this is close. I do believe he was just out, so I agree with the decision, but if I can just stop it at the right time, there we go. You can just see on that left-hand, well, my Skypad's not quite working there, but yeah, on the line. The trouble is it blends into the white part of the curb as well, but just out. So that's all it took.
Yeah.
So unfortunate for him. Others, what you can look at, Hamilton, he made a bit of a mistake here around turn 1 on his first lap when the tyres were fresh. You can see over the bump, just losing out the rear at first, understeer, then the oversteer kicks in once more for good measure. So he lost out to Russell on that first lap because of that moment. And then for all of you Ricciardo fans out there, I've just got this clip of the reason why he went out in Q1. We didn't have time to show at the time. It was that moment there, turn 7, over the curb, Carl got away from him, and out of Q1 he went. Back to you, Crofty.
He's a legend, Anthony Davidson, isn't he?
You sound like him.
Yes, I knew that was coming.
Well, I knew you knew it was coming.
My favourite racing driver, Anthony Davidson. Although he's technically not a racing driver anymore because he's retired. But,
that is true. Let's hear from Andreas Idle quick.
Was struggling with some oversteer. Turn 1 and I think then also later on turn 6, 7. So thank God we were lucky and still went through.
Indeed. Thank God they were lucky indeed. So, here we go then, folks. Stand up and get ready. Although Adam is actually stood up for once in the commentary box. He's all ready as well, because I've just noticed I'm the only commentator standing up. Everybody else has sat down for this one then. Here's Josh now stands up, getting ready. Josh usually does stand up as well for some parts of the race, so at least we get that something as well. I think Tom is actually able to stand up in his seating position. Anyway, I'm baffling.
I can. Hang on.
Oh, hang on. All right.
I can stand up. It doesn't really work with the webcam, but
2 seconds.
I can stand up if I want to.
Green light goes up.
Unfortunately.
Sorry, Tom.
Sorry. No standing up. Not my drive nowadays. I went to I went to the football the other day.
Green light goes on, and away we go then for qualifying number 3. The cars leave the pit lane, and this is the top 10 shootout. 12 minutes then, a maximum of 3 runs each. Who is going to be the fastest in the pole sitter? Verstappen, Russell, Alonso, Bottas, Norris, Leclerc, Sainz, Hamilton, Perez and Stroll have gone out there onto the circuit. And yeah, we're just talking about commentators standing up in the commentary box. And what was that, Tom? You went to the football the other day and you can't stand up quite well. What's happened?
Standing up for 90 minutes. At the end of the day, I realised my back can't take it now. So.
Well, you know what you need to do, don't you? The Murray Walker approach. You need to rock on your hips throughout the session to sort of guide your weight between the two. I mean, I'm having problems doing that at the moment because I went go-karting, as you know, yesterday, and I've done all my sides because everything's so injury, but you just rock your pelvis a little bit from side to side and it shifts the weight across as well. So you can stand for longer periods of time. So I end up doing the
go-karting's the reason for my ruined back, unfortunately.
Of course. Yeah.
Not a fan, I have to say. But anyway, back to the pressing matters at hand. Of the session, obviously we're expecting Verstappen, for me anyway, to make pole position.
Everybody.
Yes, everyone is, I think. However, could you imagine if Lance Stroll sprung a surprise on everyone? Just got the timing bang on. It won't happen. Could you imagine?
Well, Stroll where was he in practice at the same time yesterday on the board? Here he is. Lance Stroll was 4th in practice 1. So he could be 2nd row. It's not out of the question. So, yeah. I could still do it. Lando Norris is taking part in this session. Go on, Josh.
Yeah, Lance Stroll did a 137.460 in practice 1 and then did a 140.806 in practice 2, but practice 2 was on the test tyre and was very, very boring.
It was indeed, as Russell starts his first lap time then on the board as well. Out of turn 1, he's rising up 30.5 metres high as well from sea level, and Russell's backed up the lap time immediately though. So what did he not like coming out of turn 1? Car looked fine.
Yeah, that was a very quick abort, and Norris flying past, going through the Mickey Mouse section of Sector 1.
Watch out for Verstappen though, guys, because look, he's on his own on the driver tracker that we've got up here. Verstappen is completely on his own, and everyone else is sort of paired up. Leclerc's the same, actually. He's got Perez just behind him.
Yeah, but Verstappen will catch up to Alonso and Russell definitely by the end of the lap, it looks like.
Yeah, Russell's going to back off and give a toe to Verstappen, not really meaning to, and Alonso's coming through as well. So this is the first lap times then of qualifying. Norris then in the first sector. Oh, well. If we didn't have a grid penalty of 10 places, Megan would be incredibly happy right now because it's Alonso fastest both sectors. 26.087 first sector, 38.8 second sector. And if Alonso takes pole, he has a grid penalty. I don't think Megan will be too pleased. Oh, good. Verstappen's taken second sector, Leclerc's taken first sector. I don't really think that would be the thing. Adam, do you think that... Bottas was a 136.747. I'll get to you in a second, Adam, because we're going to question about Alonso. Here comes Norris across the line. For his first time in the session, it's a 136.566. And Verstappen nearly hits one of the sideways cars of Russell coming through turn 18. He's got a big wiggle on. And Verstappen's pushing hard, but is understeering like crazy as he comes into the last corner. Boots it hard out of Andretti. Cross the line, that comes to you quite quickly. It's a 135.044. Beat that, he says to everybody else. Verstappen on course then for provisional pole number 19 of his career. But Charles Leclerc might try and take it away, but he has a grid penalty, so watch out for Sainz in the second Ferrari to try and take it away as well. And Adam, my question to you about Alonso was, if he is up there as well in one of the last couple of races before he goes to Aston, I reckon Sao Paulo might be a good race where he could possibly get a podium, maybe even a win. It's that type of track.
Absolutely, Josh. And if Alonso were to get a win...
Leclerc goes top, 134.624. So Leclerc goes fastest. What about Perez coming across the line? 9th, 3rd, 135.117. So Sainz is the next one. Go on, Adam.
Yeah.
We're struggling to hear you at the
so,
moment.
Josh, you may have to find a way to control your sister.
Yeah, might have to. It's in there. But look at that. Hamilton's taken second because of Leclerc's provisional pole. But with his grid penalty, Sainz has taken provisional pole and Hamilton's gone and slotted into second. So it's a front row start for the first time this year for Lewis Hamilton if things end the way they are. With Sainz in P2 and now look at Russell. Russell might be on for provisional pole here if he can get ahead of Sainz's time. It's not that unbelievable. What do you think, Tom?
He's right on the bubble, isn't he? George Russell heading through turn 19, now absolutely on the edge of the car. He's going to absolutely nail it out of the penultimate corner, down into the final corner. George Russell hard onto the brakes and then floors the throttle very early. Is it going to be enough? It won't. It's 6th position. It's a huge anti-climax, 6 tenths of a second off. You just felt that was going to be a flash of purple in Sector 3, didn't you?
Yeah.
A fastest lap time.
Lost so much time, Josh.
Yeah, he did, and it would have been amazing to see a purple Sector 3, but Hamilton's done incredibly well at COTA. He's not got wins this season, he's got a win every single season he's raced in F1. Is COTA this weekend, tomorrow even, in 6 minutes today, later on today in the UK? Will he get his first win of the season as a change of tyres for the world champion Max Verstappen to go out and try and get provisional pole.
Well, Lewis Hamilton's had the best qualifying at this track of pole position 3 times, 16, 17 and 18. He had a hat-trick as well. He won here, well, he won in Indianapolis in 2007, then won here again in 2012 when the circuit opened, and then won here consecutively from 2014 all the way until 2017. On that way as well, he crowned his 3rd World Drivers' Championship back in 2015 here at this circuit. So it's not impossible for Lewis to pull something out the bag here as well. With 5 minutes to go, he needs to find another, what, 10th and a half? Is it, Tom, on the timer screen? 0.323, and Science is 0.159.
Yeah, I would say a 10th and a half, maybe a 10th and a quarter, but it's not impossible, as you said, as Max Verstappen comes out of the pit lane.
You guys still...
4.420 gap to leader. No jokes, please.
420.
I was waiting. Oh, my word. I mean, I was waiting for it.
We'll just get Brian and Stewie Griffin to start singing a bag of weed as well. That's a fantastic song. Go on.
Stroll, by the way, is heading through the final couple of corners now, down into turn 19 again, all on the curb into that exit curve of turn 19, now into Andretti, 3rd gear again, a little bit of a later apex than we normally see, but short shifting through the gears, only goes 7th Lance Stroll, 135.8 still, outperforming his teammate, of course, in this Q3 session, the only Aston Martin in the session. With 3 minutes and 48 seconds to go, he's going to be right on the bubble to get another lap in here, Lance Stroll.
So's Adam. So's Lewis to get out there as well. And Adam, do you reckon Lewis could take a surprise pole or even a surprise win tomorrow? If he gets out in front, he's going to be pretty much unstoppable, isn't he? Even with a bad car.
Yeah, Josh. Lewis Hamilton hasn't had the best of years this year because we've seen what Max Verstappen has done. But if Lewis Hamilton can win the pole here and get a win tomorrow, that would be really good for him, his team, and everyone at Mercedes. He wants to win really badly, so I could see it happening tomorrow at COTA.
I just want to say, F1 Highlights, which is Synthal, has just texted me saying, I'm so good at predicting, facepalm. Perez P1 in quali, could happen, X. Vettel top 5 in race, X. So, yeah, it's not going to happen, is it? So, sorry, Synthal, you're good at cursing rather than predicting, which seems to be the running factor. Look at that, we've got cars leaving the pit lane of Bottas, Alonso, Perez and Norris, but Verstappen, look at that immediately. He hasn't even done it, has it? He's come across the line to start a lap time, but he's backed out immediately. He wanted no part of this DRS train that they're going to give, and Russell is going to tow Hamilton because they know Mercedes could be on for a front row start here, and on pole position, correct me if I'm wrong, Josh, you've done the track quicker than I have. Pole position here is on the right-hand side of the grid, which means Lewis is on the left-hand side, which means he's got the inside line down to turn 1.
Well, about doing the lap faster, I haven't attempted COTA yet on F1 22, but my first lap around Bahrain on F1 22 was a 1 minute 38, which I'm quite happy with.
That's quite good. I'll see what I can do later, see if I can beat. Although I know there's no point because then Tom will get on and he's a professional racing driver, so Tom will just take it all for us.
100%. I'm so professional. That's why I talk over F1 games and not race them. But no, I can tell you from watching league racing on the F1 game that sweeping outside line at COTA is so powerful. To the fact that some people sometimes prefer to go around that outside line, particularly as it gives you the insight into the S's. So, but no, don't upplay my skill at F1 22. I am horrific at the official F1 games.
I am going to, tomorrow morning, I am going to go on F1 22 and do the best lap that I can.
I did 5 laps and I'll find out what time I did. Because I always do 5 laps. Go on.
We should do a little leaderboard in the pre-race show for the best laps that the commentators can do.
That's a good idea, actually, yeah.
Commentator challenge, but all commentators are involved.
That's giving me something to do for Abu Dhabi, actually, as well. That could be something fun. I don't know, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Adam, we'll get you on as well. That could be fun. Commentator challenge.
Oh, it's called. I've got F1 22. It's called. I can use setup that my dad uses, so it's called.
Fab. Okay, right. Okay, we'll get on that then. We'll discuss that after this and get it done for the end of the weekend. Get that out for next in Mexico as well. So we'll get that. Oh, we'll get that sorted this weekend then. So final 25 seconds of the third and final part of qualifying, and now the drivers are starting their lap times. As we head out of turn number 1, downhill into the Mickey Mouse section then, which is the official name of this part of the track, which is simulated on Maggots and Beckett at Silverstone. It's called the Mickey Mouse section, after, of course, Mickey Mouse. So I quite like what they did there. But Hamilton's crossed the line, so everybody is now on a lap time as the checkered flag comes out to finish qualifying, and Charles Leclerc is already up in the first sector. He's at 25.505. Sainz is at 25.525. So 20 thousandths of a second separate the two Ferraris as things currently stand. Hamilton is not doing good. It's a 25.8 in the first sector, so I don't think he'll improve. What's Verstappen? 25.599, so it could be, and Bottas goes 9th. He's taken that checkered flag, strolls in the pit lane. Verstappen just coming out turn 12. Leclerc's taken another 0.2 of a second from everything as well. Sainz is pushing hard. He's 0.2 up. They're matching again. And in fact, it's Sainz quicker than Leclerc. 38.097. And then this is looking good across the line. What's happened to the board? Because Perez has jumped up to P2. Perez takes provisional pole position here at COTA. As we're focusing on Leclerc, the wrong driver to do so. Cross the line comes Charles Leclerc. The rear car stepping out. It's a 1:34.421. He's done the best he can, but he's got a grid penalty as well. Sainz goes to overall pole position. 1:34.356. Mega lap from Carlos Sainz, an outright pole then. It must be. What about Max Verstappen? Out of the last corner, boots it hard across the line. He's only third. He was 92 thousandths down. It's a Ferrari 1-2 in qualifying, but it is not going to be that on the grid tomorrow. It's a second outright pole for Carlos Sainz. It's his third official of the season, and that is absolutely fantastic for the Ferrari driver. Wow.
Verstappen made a mistake into turn 19. Sainz radio.
P1, baby. Good job. I knew it was coming, guys. I knew it.
Go on, Tom.
Concise as always, but Verstappen made a mistake into turn 19, didn't he? The car just got ever so slightly loose, may have only lost him about 500ths to just about a tenth of a second, but guess what? That is roughly the margin that he lost out on pole position by, so Verstappen will be disappointed with that. It was probably in his hands, and then out of the final corner he was trying to make up for it. He put a boot full of throttle. It was far earlier than you've seen in previous laps from anyone on the grid, so Max Verstappen will be disappointed in himself most likely, but Carlos Sainz, superb lap to go fastest by just around a tenth of a second.
Adam, what did you make of that quali? Ferrari 1-2. Oh, let's hear from Leclerc, then I'll come to you.
So, P2, P1 is Sainz.
Yeah, that was
He's not best happy. Go on, Adam.
No. John said Max Verstappen was going to get the pole, and what happened?
Not got it. Third. He'll start second on the grid, though. And Josh, help me out here. Oh, sorry, Josh, help me out here. Leclerc, how many penalties did he have in positions?
It was, let me just confirm, 10.
So Leclerc starts 12th. Oh, let's have from Verstappen.
Hard luck, Max. 10th off pole. We lost 3 tenths in that final sector.
Yeah, it seemed like the low speed I was running out of tires.
Yeah, we tried something.
But it's okay. Yeah, it's okay. I mean, I can't be quick tomorrow. That's what's most important.
Yeah, valiant effort there as well for them, for Verstappen. Good game with your predictions, says Synthol to everybody as well. Yeah, so Josh, help me out here. So Leclerc starts 12th on the grid, so that promotes Verstappen to second. Perez has, how many positions is him?
Perez is 5, if I remember rightly.
So Hamilton starts 3rd, Russell starts 4th, Stroll starts 5th, Norris starts 6th, then it would be Alonso 7th, Perez then would go to 8th, with Bottas 9th and Albon starting 10th. No. It won't be that, will it? So it'd be Perez starting 8th with Bottas 9th. No, hang on a minute. Yeah, because Alonso's got a grid penalty too. We'll work that out and get back to you. So Alonso's got a 5-place grid penalty, doesn't he? No, 10.
Yep,
so
10. Just having a look at it as well.
Right, so Alonso's
Yuki
back in the grid.
Tsunoda.
Oh, Tsunoda too?
Sped by 10.3 kilometers an hour in the pit lane during qualifying, and was fined €1,000. And as well, just quickly in FP3, Lance Stroll sped by 0.6 of a kilometers an hour, and Aston Martin got fined €100.
Right, let's go down then for the post-qualifying interviews. I believe interviewing the drivers on the grid, it's either Jenson Button or Danica Patrick. I believe it is Danica. Could be Hinchcliffe, of course, the mayor of Hinchtown, who's been on commentary with F1 TV this weekend. I'm looking around. It's Danica. So we will hear from Max Verstappen, first of all, starts second on the grid. And he's talking with the only female IndyCar winner in history. It's Danica Patrick.
Hi, Max. It's been a very emotional day for the whole team at Red Bull to lose Dietrich. Tell me how you're feeling right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's been hard news, I think, for everyone. I think what he has meant for, of course, Red Bull, but also for the sport, and especially also for me, what he has done for me in general, my career so far, and in general, my life, you know, it's, yeah, really tough. This is a very tough day, and yeah, we tried to, of course, give it everything today in qualifying. Unfortunately, we missed out by a little bit, but there's still a race ahead, of course, and yeah, we're going to try to make him proud tomorrow.
What's it going to take to win from the second row? Everybody that's won here has won from the first row, with obviously how big this would be to get your 13th win in the season, and also with the news today. To win tomorrow, what are you going to have to do?
Well, I think our car normally in the race is a bit stronger than qualifying, and I think already today in qualifying it was very fine margins. If you could switch your tires on a bit better, I think you know, that would have made a difference. But nonetheless, you know, we are there, and I'm expecting a good race tomorrow.
Okay, good luck. Charles, tell me about that lap. This is a tricky track. There's fast, there's slow stuff. How hard is it to put one whole lap together, and is there something out there that could have been different that would have set you on the pole?
Oh, it is obviously really difficult, especially with the wind. The car changes a lot from laps to laps, but yeah, overall I did my best. The last lap wasn't the best. Carlos did a better job today and deserves to be on pole. I'll be starting a bit further back because of the penalty, but the goal is to try and come back at the front as quickly as possible.
This is a sad day for everyone with the loss of Dietrich today. Tell me about what it means to have someone like that in the sport that believes in racing and everything that we love so much, to lose someone like that.
It is incredibly sad, but apart from everything that he has done in his career, which is incredible, he's a human being, and it is a really sad loss for motorsport. So yeah, all my thoughts goes to their family and friends.
How much are you thinking about winning the race tomorrow versus the championship? Is there anything that you plan to do different? Are you going to be careful in any way because the championship is so close for second place?
Yeah, I'll give my best. As always, again, we are starting, I think, 12th or 11th with the engine penalty that we have. So, yeah, I'll give my best. No crazy risks, but if there's an opportunity, I'll be here to take it.
All right. Good luck.
Thank you.
Carlos, what an incredible lap. Tell me, walk me through the lap. How was that for you? Were you in flow?
It was fun, a lot of fun. Very tricky out there with these winds that we have today. So gusty that every corner is a bit of an adventure with these cars. You don't know how much grip you're gonna get or how much grip to expect, but I managed to put together a good lap without mistakes, and yeah, pole position that it was a long time coming after a few qualies in the dry, getting very close to it, but not quite getting there.
What does it take to have a good day on Sunday with how easy it is to make mistakes? Like, what is it that you're going to have to put together to stay where you're at?
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. I think for tomorrow, Red Bull are still favorites. I think they normally have the better race pace. They normally get us in the race because they have a very, Max does a great job, and Red Bull has a very good car in race stream. But we're going to do everything we can to try and stay ahead tomorrow and win the race, which would be an amazing way to start these last 4 races.
And sure, we'd all be cheering for you. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
So Carlos Sainz starts on pole position then. I've just worked out the grid, and we're on a quick off as well because of everything I've got to get sorted. So here's the grid. Sainz on pole position. Verstappen starts second. Hamilton is third. Russell is fourth. Stroll is fifth. Norris is sixth. Bottas is 7th, Albon is 8th, Perez is 9th, the first of the penalty runners, Vettel rounds out the top 10, Gasly is 11th, Leclerc starts 12th with his 10-place grid penalty, Zhou starts 13th, Alonso with his 5-place grid penalty starts in 14th, Tsunoda's 15th, Magnussen 16th, Ricciardo 17th, Ocon 18th, Schumacher 19th, and Latifi 20th. So that is currently how the grid looks for tomorrow. I hope that's right. I worked out while they were listening to that. So, final thoughts. We'll start off with Adam. What did you make of that qualifying hour?
That was incredible. Happy for Carlos Sainz. And tomorrow, Lewis Hamilton, it will start on the outside pole. So, game on in the
Absolutely game on in that Lone Star State. Josh, what did you make of qualifying hour? Is he there? Josh? I think Josh might have frozen. Tom, we'll go to you. What did you make of that qualifying hour?
I thought it was spectacular from Carlos Sainz. A little bit disappointed for Max Verstappen, who of course made that mistake, but at the end of the day did it to himself. And, well, he's already the champion, so it's time someone else had a little bit of fun. But it's going to be fascinating to see turn 1, whether that outside line does prove to be as effective as it is on the sim.
Absolutely. One more time. Josh, can you hear me? No, I think we lost him. Okay, well, we'll hear from Josh tomorrow in the show anyway. Okay, my thanks to you, Adam. My thanks to you, Josh. My thanks to you, Tom, as well, for joining me for qualifying. Tomorrow, we will be on air 6:45 p.m. for the build-up show. Maybe slightly earlier if it's a bit longer. I don't know how it's going to work out. But either way, 7:15, we'll be live on the pit lane as well. 7:20, we'll join Sky Sports F1 as well to take them through up until the start of the procedure as well at 7:50. Then I'll rejoin the box as well with Josh for commentary of the United States Grand Prix. And believe me, let's hope it'll be a good one, because Sainz on pole, Verstappen second, it's going to be a classic. My thanks to you, Adam. My thanks to you, Josh. My thanks to you, Tom. We'll see you all next time when Formula One returns for the American Grand Prix. Good night to you all.